Are you an investor looking for premium market opportunities? Presenting premium and exclusive service for investors by Kalkine.
A very good morning to you and welcome to the ASX Breakfast Report. I'm Rachel, live from Kalkine Studios in Sydney. The Australian share market is set to rise this morning, and that's despite a weak start to the week on Wall Street as investors braced for economic data and earnings season. Higher iron ore and copper prices are expected to benefit mining stocks today, while weakness on the tech-heavy Nasdaq might negatively impact domestic technology shares. The Nasdaq did log its lowest close in 2 years. Now the latest SPI futures indicate that the ASX 200 would open 19 points or 0.3% higher. Yesterday, the benchmark index closed 1.4% lower at 6,667 points. Moving on to business news from this morning now, and Telstra is currently conducting its annual general meeting and has confirmed its financial year guidance for 2023 with a free cash flow of $1.1 billion, lower than at the midpoint for guidance for financial year 2022. Now, guidance across all includes their Digicel Pacific acquisition that they completed in July. Underlying EBITDA guidance is consistent with their previous financial year 2023 ambition, plus a contribution from Digicel Pacific. Now, increased EBITDA in financial year 2023 contributes positively, but this is more than offset by increased capex. Moving on, then, the Cettire Group, that's a global luxury online retailer, has reported sales revenue growth exceeding 70% versus the prior corresponding period for the quarter ending 30th of September. Adjusted EBITDA of $5.5 million on a delivered margin greater than 20%. The company has strong confidence in their second quarter outlook with a net cash of approximately $30 million. And the Mirvac Group today announced the retirement plans for CEO and Managing Director Susan Lloyd-Hurwitz. After a decade in the role, she also announced her plan to retire from Mirvac on the 30th of June 2023, providing a smooth transition for her successor. The group has started the process for her replacement. Chair John McCarthy will also be leaving prior to the end of his 3-year term. Well, now it's time for a short break, but stay tuned for more news set to affect your trading day.
If you're looking to keep abreast of the biggest stories from the crypto world, the fate of exchanges and crypto hedge funds during the ongoing bear market, and you're wanting to keep up to date with the best and worst performers in the altcoin space and that of flagship currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, then Kalkine Media's Daily Crypto Catch is absolutely essential viewing for you. Tune in each afternoon right here on Kalkine Media to get the latest scoop from Anchor to Zero Coin.
And welcome back to the ASX Breakfast Report. Taking a look at global markets now. US investors were cautious ahead of inflation data scheduled for later this week alongside the start of the third quarter earnings season. Minutes of the Federal Reserve's last monetary policy meeting will be published this week. And on Wall Street, the Dow Jones fell 0.3%, the S&P 500 dipped 0.75%, and the Nasdaq ended 1.04% lower. Over in Europe, the FTSE fell 0.5%, the DAX was flat, and the CAC closed 0.5% lower. The MSCI All World Index was last down 0.7%. Now, oil prices extended their losses after settling lower as investors weighed potentially tight supply against economic storm clouds that could foreshadow a global recession and erosion of fuel demand. WTI crude closed 1.63% lower at $91.13 a barrel. Brent crude settled at $96.19 a barrel. That was down 1.8%. Gold prices fell as an elevated US dollar and solidifying bets for an aggressive Fed interest rate hike pushed the non-yielding bullion to its lowest level in a week. Spot gold fell 1.5% to $1,669 an ounce. US gold futures dipped 1.89% to $1,668 an ounce. Iron ore prices rose yesterday as portside inventory in China shrank during the Golden Week holidays. The most active January iron ore contract on the Dalian Commodity Exchange closed trade 2.2% higher at $739.501. That's $103 a tonne. Well, that's all for our ASX at Breakfast report this morning here at Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading. Stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.